Cool. And I guess sort of the big second road trip I've been on was yesterday. I went to PAX East, and by yesterday I mean Sunday. Not yesterday, the day before you hear this podcast.
Yeah, you got to be very
recorded live,
aware of time.
Right. So yeah, it was PAX East was in Boston this past weekend, and I unfortunately was not able to pull off getting there for the entire 3-day spectacle, but I was able to do the big final day of the show, and it was crazy. I have never. Boston's only a couple hours away, so I drove up there in the morning. I've never been to a Comic-Con or a video game convention or any place where anyone was dressed up like characters that wasn't a Halloween party.
Which character did you go as?
I went as a chubby, aging video game nerd guy.
He went as Randy Dickinson,
yes,
co-host of Video Game Hangover.
Right. There was a bunch of other people dressed like me, too.
You got to sue them, man, for copyright infringement.
Should have coordinated that better. I hate it when that happens.
What was great, it was sort of, I just walked through the door, picked up my badge, and the first thing I saw walking out into the show floor was 2 people walking towards me with traffic cones on their heads, dressed like zombies from Plants vs. Zombies. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be like that.
It's one of those parties.
Right. I was told by somebody in line that there were plants to go with those zombies somewhere, but I didn't see them, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
But I thought that was a pretty spectacular costume.
It's going to overrun the yard. You can't find those plants.
The big sort of cosplay hit of the day seemed to be Altair from Assassin's Creed. Or Ezio. I couldn't tell which character it was supposed to be. Most of them were not really good. A lot of them were sort of like...
Was he missing a finger? Because then it's Altair.
Oh, I didn't count, unfortunately.
Next time you got to grab those hands, man. Inspect those hands.
see how dedicated he is.
Do you happen to have 6 fingers on your left hand? You killed my father. No, anyways. But it was massive. It was way more. There was way more to it than I thought. I mean, driving out there, I was sort of thinking to myself, I don't know how this could be a 3-day event. Like, I go to like horror conventions, and we've tried to do sort of 2 days, and I sort of run out of things to do or look at or talk to or get autographed or whatever. So I really didn't know how this could be a giant 3-day thing that people sort of spend their weekend at. And I was maybe 2 hours into my day, and I thought, oh, now I know how. Because there is a lot of stuff to do.
Many sacrifices have to be made when you go to a convention like that, I think.
Yeah. I didn't, that said, in regard to sacrifices, like I didn't go to any of the panels or any of the Q&A sessions. I didn't go to sort of the opening and closing sort of hoopla. I did not see the Omegathon, unfortunately, which is their big random daily gaming thing. I guess sort of the big Saturday night closer was a massive game of Jenga, which I'm awful at because I tend to be kind of twitchy, but I like to watch people play who are good at.
Surgeons.
Right, exactly. So yeah, you don't want me on your team on Operation. But I just sort of tried to spend the day trying to play as many games as possible, and the ones that I couldn't get time to play, I tried to make sure that I sort of got to see some of. I think in terms of things that I sort of got my hands on, I played a little bit of Fear 3. It is sort of as you would expect. It is a shooter with crazy power things going on.
It's another Fear game.
Right, exactly. It's another Fear game.
Does it have a color palette?
Dark is the color palette.
Is that the one with the little girl with the long hair?
Yes. Yep. I liked Fear 1 and 2. I enjoyed both of those on consoles. So this, I'm led to believe that I would like the third one as well. But it is really sort of just sci-fi shooter with cool powers. What else?
And that crazy girl from The Ring.
Yeah, essentially, yes. Played Hunted, which is a sort of 2-person Gears of War-ish looking game. It's a co-op male and female character, but it's sort of in a fantasy setting. I was the girl. Some random dude wandered up and played the guy, and we killed like skeleton dudes in a cornfield. I don't know. I think I had played maybe for 5 minutes, and I wasn't totally sold.
I actually haven't heard of that. Sounds kind of interesting.
It was the same folks that make Brink, which is a shooter that I actually really, really want to play and wanted to check out. But unfortunately, the wait on that, the demo for that, sort of to get up to a station and play it, was 30 minutes long. And they only had...
just for the demo, geez.
Just the demo, yeah. So they only had maybe maybe 10 stations where you could walk up and play it. So it was sort of like you had to sort of stand there for 30 minutes to wait for the person in front of you to finish and hopefully sort of dodge onto the system before the next person did.
Yeah.
So I elbow them out of the way.
Ultimately ended up wandering away and playing Hunted. I played a bunch of indie games. Indie games were sort of easy to get time with. They sort of push those guys out to the side. And
did you play that spy game where you have to I forget what it's called. It's that indie game where you're a spy and you have to blend in with the crowd and some sniper has his sights set on you because that looks so good.
No, I have no idea what that is.
That's an indie game? No, I haven't heard of that either.
Oh, no. Well, I think the premise is basically one person is an assassin and one person is a spy. And then the spy has to blend in with the crowd of all these NPCs and act like he's an NPC before he can complete his mission. And the assassin has to watch the NPC's behavior and try to figure out which one is the spy and then kill him before the objective is reached.
Oh, you're talking about Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Yeah, that already came out. I don't know why they'd be showing that at PAX.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know what that game is, but that sounds cool, and I wish I had played it.
I'll have to find some clips or developer diary or whatever, because I know it's still in development and it's in alpha stages or something. Maybe it was at GDC. I'm not sure.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Paul.
Okay, well, I'll try to put it in the show notes because it sounds very intriguing to me.
I wanted to play L.A. Noire really bad, and they had demos going of that. But the line on that was ridiculous, and I couldn't get anywhere near it. I was able to watch a big chunk of it going on the monitors, though. They had a live DJ in the Rockstar booth, of course. It was awesome. And they were giving away T-shirts and stuff like that. I got an LA Noire T-shirt. That was kind of exciting.
Oh, nice.
That is not an indie game, though. What are some of the indie games? I played a game called Orcs Must Die. I played one called Kill Some Robots. These are all sort of future Xbox Live, PS3 downloadable titles. There was a cool looking booth called Ska Games. I guess it's the folks that make a game called The Dishwasher, which is a kind of a beat 'em up. They have a sequel to that coming out that I played, and that was awesome. It was real sort of dark color palettes. It was super hyper bloody, real fast paced platformer. That was a good time. That was great. And they had great product too. They had some really cool T-shirts and stuff like that. What else? I got to see a big chunk of Gears of War 3 in action. That looks like fun. I got to play a game called The Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet. Apparently, creativity in naming your downloadable title is the way to go. I definitely
Next, they'll come up with a game called Space Marine.
Right. Oh, I think that's coming. I played Trench. I played the new Double Fine game, which is an XBLA exclusive. That was really, really cool. Sort of riding around. It was basically a tower defense game, but you could sort of the towers were essentially great big mechs that you could ride around and shoot at each other with. I wanted to play Portal 2, but it wasn't a playable demo. They basically sort of ushered you into a theater and you watched somebody else play the first 10 minutes or so of the game.
Well, it's coming out soon, so your wait won't be too long.
But I did that. I actually that was one of the things that I was sort of most willing to wait in line for. And it wasn't too bad. About 20 minutes before I got in. And I got to see the intro. It was great. I mean, it was sort of chock full of laughs. Portal is funny anyways. But Portal 2, man, is just hysterical. There was so much funny stuff going on in that first intro. I definitely, there's no doubt in my mind how much I'm going to enjoy that game. Sort of bummer of the day, though, was waiting in line to see Portal and chatting up one of the booth babes and her telling me, oh, we ran out of T-shirts yesterday. I want a Portal shirt. What else? I saw a cool game called Fallen Frontier that looks a lot like Shadow Conspiracy. It's basically, they said that they were going for a Metroidvania.
Shadow Conspiracy?
Shadow Conspiracy? Wasn't that the sort of Metroidvania shooter on Xbox Live?
Shadow Complex.
Shadow Complex. There you go.
Okay, so that's what I thought you were talking about.
I believe Conspiracy is the sequel.
Are they making a sequel to that?
Yeah, that's what I read yesterday, actually.
They should be. Yeah.
I think the developers are talking about how it's kind of delayed and they're trying to figure out when to release it or something. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. Or do you? Up to you.
You know what the sequel to that needs is more lasers.
Yes. I'm sure they're working on it.
Can't that be said for most games?
That's true, but that game especially. Yeah.
I haven't played it. I'll take your word for it.